That toll at present as given by state government, and they have coordinated with all the hospitals. We also, our doctors also, they all told us the number is 288 that toll.
So also, can you give us a breakup of how many are critically injured and how many are
Right. 56 is critically injured and 747 is minor injuries. वो हॉस्पिटल्स में ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट 4-5 हॉस्पिटल से लिस्ट हमने दिया है.
All right, sir. And then, the next question I want to ask you is signal failure. That's a preliminary suspicion that could have caused this accident, but you're saying the CRS inquiry will be the final one.
CRS is the highest level of inquiry that is being conducted. That is already going on. He is taking all the parameters, all the reading comprehensively. He is analyzing for every aspect as to why this major disaster did happen. So his report will be comprehensive and final, and he will cover all the aspects. The initial reports done by the supervisor level, staff level, that doesn't cover every aspect. It is pointing towards signaling, but that is not final. It is liable to be changed.
All right, sir. By when can resumption of railway services on Southeastern Railway? Because all your trains are practically held up.
No, trains are running through diverted routes. We have run 81 number of trains through diverted routes. Around 50 trains have been cancelled. But presently we are running through diverted routes trains.
All right, so thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. So unfortunately, yes, the death toll has gone up to 88.
If you could ask him,
and like he said,
Saurabh, if you could ask
just one question.
If you could ask him, what about identifying families of those who are dead as well as those who are injured? Have they gone over the process, and also the most difficult emotionally, the process of handing over the bodies? How are they going about it? What's the update on that?
Right, sir. One question that obviously in a disaster like this comes to mind is, the process of identifying the dead, because not all may be identifiable, and handing over those, the dead bodies to the families. Where are you on that? How far is that being done?
See, two trains we have moved from Howrah to Balasore, and by there we are moving the relatives to this place. And
no, I'm talking about the dead. Those have them been identified and handed over?
Thing I'm telling about. The relatives have been moved by special trains from Howrah to Balasore, since the track is disturbed after that. So from Balasore they will be moving by bus to this location, and they will be to the location.
All right, so that process is still on. It's not yet.
It's an ongoing process. Yeah, it's
all right. All right, so thank you so much for your time, sir. So yes, we obviously that process is still on. It's still not the process of identifying, and that's sad because a lot of people still don't know whether their loved ones have survived or are in hospital, and that perhaps is the most traumatic experience of an accident like this, where people are going from hospital to hospital trying to figure out whether their loved ones have hopefully made it alive.
And Saurabh, you have been talking to a lot of those in the hospitals who are injured as well. What's the sense you're getting? Are they able to reach through to their families? Because several times in an unreserved compartment, there is very little details about their families or even their own contact numbers that are there when they board that train. So what's the sense you're getting from those hospitals that you've been visiting there?
Well, I was at the hospital and I met two people who were injured. One, of course, is the family of someone who they were looking for and they couldn't find them. And, they didn't want to go to a morgue because they said, look, we want to look at the hospitals first and hopefully he's alive. And if we don't find him in hospitals, we'll probably have to look for him in the morgue. For them to go through that. But also I met someone who was injured, who passed out after the train, bogies completely fell apart. And then, of course, he was taken to a hospital in an ambulance because he was pulled out alive. His brother had been trying him since last evening. Only this morning, someone else at the hospital picked up the phone because his phone was also partly damaged and told him he's at the Balasore hospital. Whoever you're calling is at the Balasore hospital. That's when the brother arrived and, finally was to huge relief, his brother was alive. So that is the kind of stories we found at the hospital, and that perhaps is giving us a sense of how traumatic it is for the families. And like we've been pointing out, it is the sleeper class compartments that were at the front of the train that have been the worst affected, and the general compartment that has been worst affected. And because the railways is the most affordable form of travel, the laborers, migrant laborers, all choose to travel by train. And unfortunately, this time around, those people, the poorer sections of society, seem to have been worst hit, because those coaches have been badly mangled, and the majority of the casualties are from those coaches.